Hello, my name is Samantha Morgan, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. Today I'm going to speak to you on how I became a responsible member of society at the age of 23. I have learned in life that acceptance is the answer to all my problems. I have accepted the fact that no human power could relieve me from my alcoholism or return me to sanity, that only a power greater than myself, whom I choose to call God, can. I'm going to speak to you all today on how I went from a suicidal alcoholic at the age of 18 and how I became a responsible member of society at the age of 23. My childhood was a pretty normal childhood. I grew up in a home where my parents were divorced, which wasn't really anything new to me. Most of my friends' parents were divorced as well. My parents raised me in a Methodist church and in a very small town where everyone knew everything about everyone. My father was an alcoholic, not the kind that came home and kicked his dog, but the kind that sat around and didn't do much of anything for anyone. As I grew into my adolescence years, I always felt different. Not the kind of different that every teenager feels, the kind of different that would send you to hell. I was attracted to girls. I began recreationally drinking and drugging at the age of 15, trying to fit in. It eventually led to be an everyday thing, and by the time I was 18, I was an IV drug user for 12 years. I had been in jail, rehabs, mental institutions, home confinement, and just froze. Mental institutions and home confinement. At the age of 18, I walked into my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. I finally felt that I could fit in. No, not everyone in the meeting was gay, but everyone loved me regardless of who I was. And I finally came out of the closet, thinking that I wouldn't have to hide behind a drug or a bottle anymore because I found people who loved and accepted me for who I was. That wasn't the case, though. My problem wasn't being gay. My problem wasn't being scared of being gay. My problem was that I had an allergy to alcohol. At the age of 23, I surrendered to the program once and for all. I was willing to do whatever it took to become a responsible member of society and to keep myself from killing myself with the bottle or even worse, a noose. I picked up what I hoped to be my last 24-hour chip. In Alcoholics Anonymous, there's a book called The Big Book. It contains the 12 steps, 11 chapters of the solution. Page 417 contains a paragraph on acceptance and the answers on how to stay sober and live a happy life. They helped me find a power greater than myself, whom I choose to call God, and that can return me to sanity if only I am willing to ask for his help. They've shown me my parts in situations rather than me playing the victim role all the time, and allowed me to make amends for all the wrongdoings I did in my act of addiction. They've allowed me to carry this beautiful message to people who aren't so educated on alcoholism and to people who want sobriety just as much as I did. Page 417 in the Big Book talks about acceptance being the answer to all my problems. I have found that 9 times out of 10, when any situation is bothering me, that it's usually my fault or something isn't going my way. I full-heartedly believe that nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Whenever I'm feeling sad, upset, angry, any emotion that isn't positive, I just have to turn back to that quote and realize that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. As of October 16, 2014, I now have 17 months clean and sober. Not just a life free from alcohol and drugs, but a life of true happiness. Life's not always perfect, but my worst day sober is still better than my best day drunk. I am now in a healthy marriage to a woman whom I love more than anything. I'm a CNA in a nursing home. I have a relationship with my family I never thought would be possible, and I have a friendship with a God whom I thought hated me my whole life. I hope that I was able to educate you all on what saved my life and made me who I am today, because there's no way I'd be where I am if it wasn't for Alcoholics Anonymous.